And it's time to say hello, ladies and gentlemen. How was your weekend? You know what? It feels great to be back to doing what I love to do on this beautiful Monday night as we come to you from Detroit, Michigan. Folks, let us show hope you're having a great time tonight on this beautiful but very cold Monday night in Detroit. In other parts of the country, I'm told it's extremely cold as well. I just spoke with my friend and brother, Volcano, and I'm telling you, the snow in Philadelphia, man, they might get up to 12 inches tonight, you know. Well, folks, with that said, as always, by way of introduction, this is the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion, you know. That's why they call him yeah, we play. You know, tough times don't last, tough people do, because the height of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Trust no shadow in the dark. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because a bald-headed man does not walk on the moonlight. Yours truly, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. Ashford the Giant, the Now You Know Me Garley. Welcome.
Sugar. Ingénieur Tumba Kinkela.
And it's time to give it up for Mr. Philip Baswa. It's also time to give a Prince Carver. How you all doing tonight? Siata Tengbe, my lovely sister, how you doing? And we'll also see Joseph and Cherry, Charlie Jaffa Bolo, Princess Johnson, Joseph and Wanan Ali, and the rest of the crew in the house. And I see Musa Sharif, Esther Conan, Agnes Samukat Molba is also in the building tonight. With that, folks, it's time to introduce to you my co-host. And he's there in the city of brotherly love. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome to you the most eruptible volcano Shelton. Welcome, my man.
Yeah, I'm in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. They added that piece to it.
How was the weekend, man?
Well, it was a quiet one. I stayed indoors, especially Sunday, because there was an impending storm, winter storm. And of course, it started early afternoon, all through the night into this morning. And then it subsided, fought my way to work. And then it started around noon. And this time it started off with some ice rain, and then it turns into real snow. I don't know if it subsided, but I'm currently home. I got home almost 6 o'clock. And the roads were very horrible, so it's that bad right now. They shut down schools today, and because it was just bad, and a lot of businesses didn't open. But usually we get this kind of snow every February, and apparently this could be the last for us until we hit the spring.
Okay. Well, again, want to say a big thanks to all of you for taking up time of your schedule just to form part of the show tonight. Mr. Orlando Chenoweth is in the building. My lovely cousin, Patience D. Slew is also here. And Desmond Johnson is here as well. Emmanuel G. Simpson is also here. And folks, Let us show hope that we can all have a blast tonight. And Shelton, tonight we will discuss among many issues affecting Liberia and, of course, the just ended county meet. We are here to discuss the blatant violation of the COVID-19 protocol, excuse my French, by the government of Liberia. And Shelton, here we have a government that has been harassing Liberians for months, putting a 6 to 6 curfew on its citizens. Now, the police allegedly murdered 2 Liberians in the name of preventing the spread of COVID-19, and now you have the president condoning the violation of the very COVID-19 protocol he put in place. Shelton, you have the new and deadly strain of South African COVID-19 called the variant that we have not even considered. Our MTN executives, the Lone Star company that's based, South African company, have they considered, to be properly tested, and should we ban them from coming to Liberia? Fast forward, the violation of Senator Dillon's rights by the EPS. If this can be done to a popular senator in the person of Dillon, what are they doing to ordinary Liberians? This is going to be hard tonight, my man. Your take.
Well, let's first look at the county meet. The county meet ended yesterday. I want to give a congratulatory thank you to Lofa County, even though they beat my county, Montserrato, where my neighbor string is buried. But nonetheless, I've never seen that stadium that packed. Right. And that in itself was scaring. Just the capacity, allowing, the stadium to be overcrowded like that, had to do with safety. And safety not only because of COVID, but safety in infrastructure. We've seen where stadiums collapse, killing a lot of people. And to see that because of gate intake, however, they allow all those people to crunch into that stadium that's supposed to be at least 30,000, comfortably, 25 to 30,000, the purpose for which it was built. That's the first violation. So are we doing sound structuring? Do we look at our structure and look at the capacity that those structures can hold, or do we just allow the crowd to overwhelm and storm the place with no proper, restrictions? The second thing is, you talked about the COVID. Why do they collect $75 at the airport when you enter the country and $75 when you leave? Once you enter the country, you don't have to wear masks. And if you wear masks, you're only doing it because it's international standards, and you have to do that because it protects you. But when you go to Rome, you are advised to live like how you see the Romans are living. So does that mean when you go to Liberia, you're trying to follow social distancing, wear your face masks, but everywhere you go, you're the only one? You talked about being on the beach, and you were the only one looking like some idiot walking around with masks when everybody were, in violation. But, so,
the thing here is, what is the health ministry is doing? Because I remember there was this weekly conference, a weekly interaction with the press, alerting people about the disease. That other countries still take this seriously, but our country is here, like you rightly said. Nobody wears masks in the country, and in the event where they see you with a mask on, they say, "Man, take out that stuff, man. There's no COVID-19 here." Now, if we are not careful, Liberia might end up being a super spreader of the disease. Because again, in my intro, you have a South African company in the country. America has banned people going and coming out of South Africa. That's just how dangerous the new variant is. So when do we put protocol in place? Look at our neighbors. Look at other countries. They take this stuff very seriously. I mean, the sports complex is supposed to a house about 35,000 people.
The max, the max.
The max
Somebody saying
35,000.
45, but it's
But you have
35,000.
way more than that. In fact, when you listen to the commentator was saying, do not come to the stadium because it's overcrowded. And people even end up fainting yesterday at the stadium, Shelton.
It was alleged that a little girl was killed because she fainted and fell, and people just stampede over her. So that was just a day say. I don't know how true that was, but I spoke with someone who said in the presence they saw 6 people fainted. There were ambulances coming, fire truck, and so forth. But yes, you talked about a variant where we have the first of the case in few cases now in South Carolina, and you can imagine what that does. I think you said, I know of one that came in 4 days ago, and now you said the number has increased to 4, right?
Right. At Minnesota, we told this also one of the places where the variant, that show face,
So imagine Liberia, and and people not just coming through the airport. People are crossing the border anyhow. And so the least they can do is to keep themselves safe and by wearing masks. And I would ask this president, Mr. Weah, and his health minister and the security apparatus to begin to re-alarm the importance of wearing face masks, particularly in Liberia, especially when you go into public space, nightclubs, beaches, restaurants, in the marketplaces. I know it's going to be hard, but for the most part, anyone who wants to keep themselves safe should do that. But when you look at the officials of government themselves in violation, then you wonder who's going to implement
And
the policy.
speaking of the officials of government, you watched the annual message from the president. The speaker of the house was there without a mask, even with the entrance of the president. There was no mask. He was not wearing mask. And these people just don't believe that COVID, is worthwhile. We don't want to make the same mistake that this clown made, the ex-president of the United States, who said COVID was a hoax, that they have it covered. And today you have more people dead in America, combine all the wars that America ever had in the history of this country. And we don't want our country to go through that. Because the next thing you know, they will be standing in line asking for international assistance just to steal the money again. So to prevent that, please wear your masks, observe social distancing, wash your hands frequently, and just the BABA protocol. And then again, we're asking the health ministry to please resume their weekly press conference, with the media.
And they have to do that because South Africa, we're talking about here, the research shows that more than 45,000, almost 45,000 people have died as a result of COVID in South Africa. I'm not talking about the new variants, but I'm just talking in accumulation of the number of people who have died. So it's very significant number. So needless to say, Liberia that does not have the capacity. South Africa is a developed country, and if they are facing this pandemic at unprecedented numbers, then you can imagine what could happen in Liberia. So there's no need for them to play this down. They've already collected money at the airport. They should be using some of that money. That's a lot of money. During this holiday, thousands of people went back and forth through Monrovia. You collecting $75 a piece to go and come, that's $150. That's a lot of money they should be putting into the COVID care. Augmenting the various health facilities to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, using some of that money for law enforcement to be, able to patrol public spaces and ensure that people are wearing masks. And if they're not wearing masks, find them. You just got to start arresting some people. Okay. And then you will see people will step up to the plate and begin to wear the mask.
When I came back from Liberia in December, By the time you enter the airport, they will ask you. It's mandatory that you wear your face mask, even on the plane. It's mandatory that you do so. Now, you in the past said 6 to 6 curfew, and I don't know if things have changed now, but the Liberian Sierra Leone border, you have 1 hour to transact business. 1 hour. Okay. I mean, what kind of business can you transact between with just 1 hour? 1 hour.
So those observations.
You
So
can
those
get
sorry. So those observations were more like trying to tap into the COVID money. So we're going to do some things up front, make it seem as though we're adhering to international standards and compliance, and then behind the scene, we go back to square one.
and first is when you come in out of the country, you pay $75 for the COVID test, but now it's both ways now. As of the 4th of December, go into Liberia, even though you go with your certificate that you've taken the test, that you're COVID free, they still require you to take the test upon entry. And then when you leave the country again, you will have to take the test. I don't know what would change now because I'm going to do my vaccine. I don't know what would change if I go and give my certificate, say I've done the vaccine. I don't know if they will still require me to take to pay for testing.
The man who want your money, they will take that money. They will have to take the money. So whether you vaccinated or you ain't vaccinated, they will take the money. But yeah, so I don't know at what point the vaccination will become a certificate that will stop them from taking the money. But it's a new way to finding money. Finding to make money. It's another what you call it, form of income. But let's not only restrict this to Liberia. Ashford, it's happening all over the sub-region. Sierra Leone, people moving about with no mask. Guinea, the African coast, Nigeria. And this is just the common mentality of the African man. This is BRIDGERADIO Africa. So this is not just restricted to Liberia. While it is true that we're concerned more about Liberia, but we also got to talk about in the sub-region because those people are crossing the border. You understand, Ashford? Coming in and out. Well, and Liberia is not an isolated case.
But Sheldon, I know you talk about Sierra Leone and Guinea, but why our people don't listen? Why they don't listen? They'll wait until stuff gets out of hand before they react. Where's the leadership here? Where's the judgment? What is George we are doing to our country? So he gets up, went on the field the other day, yesterday to play football. I mean, I didn't know when they decided that he was going to come to play. The man was on the field. He wanted to play 90 minutes. Equal the time of the actual game. The boss, you're 53 years old. Your colleagues, they're all way up there in the 50s, and you want to play the national team of Liberia, the Lone Star. Why you can't play with your equal? I think George, we were trying to find some type of strategy and say, let us play the national team. It will beat these guys. Then it means they are no longer qualified to represent us on the international scene. But I enjoy how the national team whipped them 5-0. They play George, we are like, my man, they're not president business here now. You can't challenge the national team of Lone Star, we'll play you 50-50. And they get in draw bucket yesterday, 5-0. He didn't even spot. And they didn't want to leave the field. They had to cut again. Had they stayed there for 10 more minutes, Sheldon, they would have given a dozen because the boys were ready to play them.
So either that or maybe he's trying to relive his past glory. You see that kind of stadium high with pack? We are like the show off.
Not seeing such a huge crowd in a long time. Almost 50,000 people there. So you said, but this is an opportunity for me to showcase.
Yeah.
Let's play ball,
Yeah, your man like to cry. So that was reliving his good old days, the good old wonderful days when he was money, money, the George Open we are. So he wanted to relive it. But I like to see the guy, still passionate about what brought him to the limelight. I don't have issue with him playing soccer, but he just needs to choose the occasion and when to do it. But again, it's Mr. Weir. He's the president. I think he enjoys, being the limelight, but he needs to push for the wearing of mask. They have to make this a serious matter. Even in the house, you look in the house, all these guys are in each other's faces. Some of them wear the masks like they're wearing it like chain protection. It's under the chain all day.
And not only the house. Earlier today, the inspector general from the commerce ministry that goes to inspect people for the licenses or the business registration, they're wearing a mask as if, like you said, a chain. It's not a bluffing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's called face mask. You have to cover your entire face. Your nose, from your nose down.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing this? Only God one can come. And that was what somebody said. Liberia is the only country that giving God a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
You put stuff in the place, they see you as if you're talking nonsense. Then when stuff hit the fence now, then we all suffer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and that what God said when you get ready to get tired too, and say let it feed the pain. But I saw even Darius Dillon today. They got not too long. I don't know if it was the day when he paid that visit to Archie Pompon. He and Jonathan Sigwe, they were all in the crowd, all through the low alleys of West Point. No max, hugging, kissing on people, on little children. I mean, yeah, I understand you down to earth and down to the downtrodden masses, but you got to set the standard. If we put standards in place as a government, the initiation of those standards begin, with the people who are looked up to. If you're looked up to and you don't do, because if leaders don't set the tune, the people won't follow. And so for Darius to be all in the community of West Point, he and Jonathan Sigwe, his entourage, and they just all, intermingling with everyone. I didn't even see anybody with masks. The only person who has something around his face was Archie, who is trying to recuperate. But this is a dangerous game. They're playing with the lives, with the health, and this can spread, especially with this variant you're talking about. If it ends up in Liberia, I don't know if they have the capability to manage it.
Wearing masks now is a way of life over here in America and other parts of the world, the countries that are very serious, that take this stuff very seriously. Again, we're calling on the president, we're calling on the Ministry of Health to please enforce the wearing of masks, uh, avoiding the huge crowd, putting the effect again, social distancing, frequent hand washing. People go to Labapido, the restaurant, that's it, the Kobo shop, right? And they leave from there, they go behind the Kobo shop,
A good PB.
unzip their pants, take out the watchman call, come back without washing hands and start to shake people's hands, You don't know what you're carrying. And this has got to stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And somebody's saying that even Satan said complaining about Liberia. So what we're gonna do now? Jack Marsh, he said even Satan complains about Liberia.
Big brother Rodney Chesson, he's tough talking and some of the things already get under his skin, But when be here for just an hour tonight, and shortly we'll go to the telephone line. But just before we go to the telephone line, Shelton, yesterday on the field, we saw Montserrat County Senator Darius Dillon in a little debacle with the EPS officer. That some said is a violation of Senator Dillon's right by the EPS. And they continue to say if they can do this to the senator of Montserrat County, guess what are they doing to the ordinary Liberian? What do you know so far, Shelton?
Well, I didn't see the video, but I heard that he was not physically manhandled accordingly, but it was his security. But in some of the discussions, if his security is manhandled, that means they don't have regards for him because his security is an extension of his service. It's like you, the father of your son. If someone touches your son, they touch you, right, Ashford?
Yeah.
So, it just boils down to the fact that Liberia becoming a complete lawless society,
Mhm.
and no respect for the rule of law. And this is not the first time we've heard these things with the EPS, manhandling people who are from the opposition. This shouldn't happen. And I heard Dillon today said that the House is going to handle it. So apparently he may have filed a formal complaint
Yes, he
uh,
did. Uh,
to the
uh,
Senate.
yeah, he did. And he said this is just not the first time. He said this is the fifth time. He
Hmm.
won't say he's even afraid now for his life and the lives of his family. And he wants the Senate to actually dig deeper into this and come up with something. But on the flip side, though, uh, the the security apparatus said going into the VIP stand, representatives and senators never had their security officers. They were all outside. At this time, now you're being protected by state security. But according to them, Senator Dillon was insisting that he wanted to move in with his security people. And they said no, because you have your colleagues up there, they are there alone and they are being protected. I don't know if you I don't, what do you make of that?
But I would say that, first of all, Dillon is on opposition. And if this has happened 4 times prior to this one, then Dillon wouldn't trust the security. And how does Dillon know that he has some of his colleagues up there? Maybe his colleagues are from the CDC. Of course, they're colleagues, but it could be from the ruling party. So, of course, they're protected compared to an opposition candidate. Could they have said that some of your opposition candidates, colleagues up there, and they're being protected by the EPS? But again, Dillon needed to be safe, and he wanted his security detail to be there with him, especially in that crowd. Anything could have happened. Anything could have happened. But this is the opportunity for President Weah to condemn some of these things and say, as an EPS member, you are here to protect every Liberian. These are the opportunities for resetting these next 3 years. Rather than sit mute on this again, he needs to condemn some of these things as the president, because it's only important in the reconciliatory process. We can never reconcile that country when people do things and get away with it. And even if they're going to get away with it, at least somebody should come out and condemn it in the strongest term.
Mhm.
But it's not safe to have a country where there's no rule of law. And these are the reasons why our economy is where it's at. People are afraid to go to Liberia because they don't feel that they're going to be protected. Their business is not going to be protected. The well-being, the safety, all those things are very, very paramount. So when we say we have peace, it's not the absence of war. It's not the absence of the gunshot. It's not the silence of bullets. The things that make peace, when a man can walk freely, speak freely, sleep freely, go to work freely, all those things are critical.
But then what do you say to others who say there were other opposition senators and representatives in there without bodyguard or without security? What do you say? What do you say to that as well?
But I would say, of course, yes. But it's his personal, it's his personal position. If Dillon didn't feel safe, he didn't feel safe. And if you were buying ticket for his bodyguards, then of course, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? I don't think that they were going in free. And if all of them went in free, then I don't know how much gate intake they got, because it comes out right. They go into VIP, they should pay a VIP price. So if Dillon had said, I'm going to buy my security tickets, then that would be it, the way to go, rather than, putting up a fight.
Okay, we want to go. We have reached the halfway mark now. So why don't we take our play to the callers out there? The telephone number to call is 317-353-5642. Again, the number is 317-353-5642. What is your take on the complete disregard of protocol as it relates to COVID-19 in Liberia? And of course, that was the long situation at the sports complex yesterday. And as we wait for folks to start calling Shelton, want to take a break now and want to bring something that was produced in 1984. And this is one of my all-time favorites. A group calling themselves Kassaf, with a guy called Jacques Differo. Take a listen.
Encore, faut pas moi une chance que ça nous qui fait qu'on est tout. Depuis ma bouche, c'est vous tous celles qui songé.
Monter en fonctionnaire, hier, monter en fonctionnaire.
That's right, a group from the island called Martinique, with a guy called Jacques Differo, making his presence known tonight on Bridge Radio Africa, something that was produced in 1984. Just like that, we want to go to the telephone line now. Hello, caller, tell us your name.
Yeah, Mr. Ashford, my name is Quadu Sharif, calling from Pennsylvania.
You live on the radio. Go ahead and make your point, sir.
Yeah, let me first start off with thanking the both of you for maintaining this show for the Liberian people. And Mr. Ashford got it. You guys said it all. COVID-19, Liberians are taking it lightly, most especially the leaders. As my brother was saying, the field they were on or they were playing on yesterday, max is 35,000. If you go and overcrowd more than 40,000 Liberians and don't start the game until 6 p.m., that's almost in the night, you start the game just because the president himself wanted to play 90-minute football with the Lone Star team. Now, do you know what's going to happen? You're risking other people's life. How people travel from all the way Magibi, Kakata, to come and watch the game. People came from different places, very far away from the city. And then you deny them. Instead of the game starting 4 p.m., the game start all the way 6 p.m. What happens? He doesn't care. And all of those people that were on the field, there was no marks. I see almost all the people that I saw with the marks, their marks were right on their chin.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Thanks for your contribution, okay?
Thank you.
All right. We have a 314 number. The last 4 digits of your number, 0461. Please tell us your name.
Yeah, thank you, the Giant. This is Zaza from Rhode Island.
You live on the radio. Go ahead, make your point, sir.
Thank you so much for having me on. What happened in what I saw yesterday concerning the crowd is something that is very unfortunate. We don't have money, but we always try to do things that make us live above our, our capacity. You are depending on countries to help you, and then you are maxing people up in places that will create situation that you will not be able to control. I think that is very, very much reckless. It's being reckless. So an issue of people being followed yesterday in the studio and other places, I think that was a complete reckless decision by the government. Around the world, powerful countries that have the money to take care of their people, that have the facilities, they still don't allow people on the stadium. You watch European leagues, you don't see people in the stadium. You only have visual crowds. You don't see people in the stadium. How much more about us? We don't have it. That is completely wrong. On the second part of the issue of what happened between the EPS and the senator yesterday, I see it in two ways. Number one, this has overshadowed the victory of Lofa County. This county, according to the history, had never won for over 30 years. The first time winning, that should be something that should have taken the airway to celebrate with them. Unfortunately, we are good at creating a scene that will always make the good part in our country to always never be recognized. So instead of we now talking about Lofa's victory and celebrating with them, we are here talking about EPA and EPS and the senator. I think that was very, very unfortunate. Number one, I don't have the details. I haven't even watched the video. But the disappointing part about our country is that everybody has the side of their story. They take it, even they will see it as red, but because they are black, they say it's black because they want it to favor them. So at the end of the day, it had to actually have something right in Liberia. The senator, those who support him will say he's right. Those who support the EPA or maybe you support the government will say the EPS were right. So at the end of the day, we don't really know what is really happening. Unfortunately, how we started and how we ended, all the senator is saying whether what's actually happening.
Thank you.
What the EPS is saying, what actually happened, those things we don't know. So
thank you, my brother.
I want to say, brother,
Thank you so
I want
much.
to congratulate Lofa County for their victory. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay, we want to go to 617, the last four digits of your number. 33. Hello? 3389. Tell us your name.
Yeah, hi, brother Ashford and Volcano. This is Emmanuel Jackson from Boston.
Welcome to the show, Jack.
Hey, man.
Yeah, this thing is serious because, as you know, in for 2021, so 2021 is out of the picture. And with the new variants coming in from South Africa and others, our government should be serious. Because I remember when Ebola hit Liberia, the Unity Party government was ignoring it until I think then Nigeria had to say, look, we need a state of emergency. Before, the government realized people were falling all on the street dying. So this is serious. I mean, we have to watch what the CDC is saying here. They're saying that there's no insight of this thing ending in 2021. So we might have another year or 2 years to go before we can see the elimination of this disease. So I think President Weah and Redden, we have the people wear the masks, wash their hands, and do the social distancing.
Thank you, my brother.
That is done.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Okay, we want to go to London. The last four digits of your number, 8166. Tell us your name. It's a 447 number. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes. Tell us your name.
Hello?
Hello, sir. You live on the radio. Tell us your name.
Hello, Asfa, how you doing? It's Kalilu.
Yeah. Hello. What is your name?
Kalilu speaking, please.
Where are you calling from? Aliyu? Oh, man. Okay. Aliyu doesn't want to talk. What a 774 number, 7611. Tell us your name.
How you doing, Ashford? This is Enzo Dualu calling from Boston, Mass. How you guys doing?
My man.
Look, the thing, what happened with Senator DeLong, this was an easy fix.
Okay.
How that happened. All the EPA officer could have done, say, listen, Senator, call him into the side. We have a standing protocol as it stands. The president's already seated, whether he was seated or not. We recommend, this happens, just do it on the side. And the EPA has to understand something. They're institution. They serve the presidency, not an individual. We have to understand Liberia as it's meant to be understood, guided by laws and constitutions. When we subscribe to the vision of a sitting president and everything surrounds him and makes him a demagogue, it's a dangerous thing for the country. There was no need for all this crap going on that happened yesterday with the senator. It could have been avoided as long as these guys were professional. I just called to make that point. Thank you guys for the show.
Thank you, Dualu. Okay. We have 8166. Hello? A 447 number. Hello, caller. Please listen to the phone and not the receiver. Hello, Aliyu?
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, listen to the phone and not the receiver.
Hello, Garley, how you doing?
Good. Go ahead and make your point. You live on the radio. Go ahead and speak. Stop listening to the receiver. Listen to the phone. Jeez. Okay. Shelton, according to Dillon, the EPS boss was dead and did nothing, said nothing, while his bodyguard and the EPA officer were in a scuffle. Never said anything. You add the director
According to
of the EPS. Sir, please meet your phone. I will get to you.
Okay.
Meet your phone, please. Go ahead, Sheldon.
So I see a few comments here where people said that Dillon should have followed the protocol. Yes, if a protocol is in place, it should be followed. But is that protocol being followed by everyone? Because you and I know that in Liberia, there's always selective justice, selective favoritism, and all those things come into play. Now, do we know whether I was there prior to Dillon arriving? We don't know. And if I was there, he was already playing football. So how much security he needed? Was the security running alongside him when he was on the football field? Right? Did it really matter?
According to Dillon, when he got there, I was already playing. I was on the field of play.
That's what I'm saying. So how much of a danger was we are in with the coming in of a senator? You know? But again, that stuff, I just don't think that these guys got regards for the opposition people, you know. And that's why I say if the opposition people don't put their foot down to hold everyone accountable, that everything must be done by the books, then they're going to suffer it. Because you come to think about it, that was an easy matter, like Dwalu said. Very easy matter. Step to the side, harmonize it, and move on.
Let's go back to the line. We have a 401 number. 3688 is the last 4 digits. Hello, sir. Oh, man.
What's up, Ashford? This is Rodney.
Hey, big brother. How you doing? Welcome to the show. How was the weekend?
Not bad, man. How you guys doing? You guys doing a good job.
Thank you.
But I just want to tell you, man, we're going through this thing over and over. Our country needs overhauling. Our entire social society is broken down. We can say it should be like this, it should be like that. It will not be like that. But we need to overhaul our system. We need a diaspora group of technical people with master degrees and PhDs who will sit down and analyze our society. People with bachelors and high school diplomas are the people who are the runners, supposed to do the work in Liberia. Those are most of the people who got in Liberia now, college and high school people. We need a diaspora group of a mixture of all professionals in America to sit down and analyze our society, put a plan together for 10 years. And the government analyze it too, then we take it to Liberia, set it up. The diaspora group can take over JFK. We can take over every medical facility in Liberia and the government hands out of it. And we send our professionals from here. We refurbish JFK. We send our professionals from here to run it. No government hire people. We will hire our people in Liberia too. Have a staff in Liberia from the diaspora running the medical system. We got to take over one thing in the country. We can't just stay out. When we take over something, if we take over the healthcare and the diaspora, we got to organize ourselves in America. ULA is failed. We're not professional people. We will not sit down and argue about petty change. But where we want the position, no, it's not about position. It's about raising money.
Thank you, Rodney.
Put the professionals together. We'll talk about that later.
Thank you, Rodney. Thank you so much. You just heard him, Sheldon. He wants professional from the diaspora to go to Liberia and do something. But Sheldon, you just mentioned the opposition. We have the opposition in the country. Look at how the stadium was overcrowded yesterday. Okay, in the midst of the pandemic, you never heard one opposition leader talking about the total disregard of wearing face masks, observing social distancing, and they all sit down and do nothing. But before you come in, let us go back to the phone line. I think Dwalu wants to reappear. Is that Dwalu?
That's me, Astro. I'm so sorry to do this.
Okay.
I apologize. But Be Better Ronnie just
Mm-hmm.
call you. And this new promotion that I've been doing is a way to transform Liberia without having to take state power. It's a massive series that I have going. We don't need government as it stands right now because government has not worked. I will call you up there. But what my brother Ronnie just said, I've been talking about this for 3 years. I've written a bunch of papers about the issue, how to actually transform Liberia for the better without having to take state power. Thank you so much. I want to make that point as well because I heard the big brother talk about it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, want to go back to our 447 number 8166. Hello, caller. Hello. Four 405.
Hello, Mr. Garley. How you doing?
Yes, sir. You're live on the radio. Go ahead and speak, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and talk. We're listening to you, sir.
The man breathing in the phone.
I keep telling him not to listen.
Listen, put your phone there, yeah, but he won't listen to. He won't hear his on radio.
I will not listen, you know. But Shannon, you heard Rodney, and you also heard Dwalo again. Let's take this call. It's a 317 number. The last 4 digits 5985. Tell us your name.
Thank you. My name is Horty Padman, the Giant. I call from Indianapolis to be Spirit Mario County.
Hey, you're live. Go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, even though I just came to class late, but I have set I have an issue regarding the topic of discussions regarding to do with the security protocol of our system. But as for Garley and that of Shelton, this is something I want you guys to reflect your mind back. Okay, in the 51st legislature, in the 50, 54, 57, or 52nd. I mean 52nd, 53rd. Have you guys ever noticed as to whether we ever have or lawmaker ever have a personal security within apart from the speaker, the deputy speaker, and down the protect? Have you guys ever noticed that? In the 51st, in the 52nd, in the 50s? It's nothing. It never happened. But today we have even a lawmaker representative who represents his people, who's free to go to his people, the people that voted for him. He has a personal security. Or he calls a police officer assigned. It's only happening on the present administration. It actually frustrates me as a young man. Then why will you go to the people to actually elect you? Okay, I'm not trying to support the idea of the EPS officer regarding his foolish idea on his foolish behavior and saving their own senator. But I'm just trying to stress what actually brings about this personal security have to do with or police officer assigned with common lawmakers. Therefore, go. You know, lawmaker, I use the word common because you are common man, you represent the people. You go to the people during electoral time, you eat with them, you dine and wine with them, you behave common. But at the end of the day, when you ascend to that area, then you get police officer assigned with you. If John Biden ran to at that time to vote you, John Biden don't have access to even come to you because you will say, go by the protocol.
My brother, this is a different kind of Liberia now. So
country, man.
It's a different. Thank you. It's a different kind of Liberia, Shelton.
I was about to say that.
You have people going around doing their own thing, hijacking people, and in the case of Senator Dillon, he's a very high-profile senator. So if the government is not paying for his person, he's paying for his own personal security. When I go to Liberia, I'm going to have my own personal protection as well. The president says it. You know, you got to have your own security. It's CCTV. Okay. We have a 980 number 0669. Tell us your name.
Hey, ASHFORD, this is Jerome calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Jerome, you're live on the radio. Go ahead and make your point, Jerome.
Okay. I called because of this quarter I just called. Do you see what's going on in Liberia? He took on about 18th century now. But you see what happening to Dillon now. When they provoking him, then when Dillon come out and talk again, they say Dillon have as a senator he offering authority war because look at during the election, people they was tuning there was anyway he go for gathering, they will test tune and start tuning. Now, it was this thing that happened that it makes Dillon mad to come out and speak. Because all the other people will go up, nobody stone them. But when they don't go out, they start finish stone. Now, look what happened yesterday. Everybody was on a fee. I guess they had their own security. But because Dillon was going there and from day one, they don't like Dillon. So they try to do everything to limit him. This, for God's sake, this is a senator for Maserado County, man. Maserado County.
Thank you.
The most populous county.
Thank you. Okay, we have a 267 number, 709-5589. Tell us your name.
Ashford, this is David Sumo.
Mr. Sumo, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to give some of our opinion. But for me, I just want to speak about the bigger issue in Liberia regarding morality, decency. I think we can look at the social fabric of the society is broken down. Someone call and say how we can be in the diaspora, can go and change things. I don't think that can even work. The problem in Liberia is beyond economic, beyond corruption. It's just the fabric of what morality is. See the behavior of the generation of Liberians. See what they do. The idea that the EPS officer grabbed this guy by the neck, I don't even know what kind of policing is that. As for, my father was in the police force for over 35 years. I don't ever see this kind of thing to be the way you can apply, even if where I don't know who Dillon is. I know he's a senator. The issue also about carrying bodyguard, the young man that caught too, that's a serious question to look at. Why did he have so many bodyguards? And I also want you guys to please inform us, we the audience, did all of the bodyguards, did they have VIP tickets? Did he buy only ticket for he alone, or all his bodyguards have VIP tickets? Because sometimes we hear these things and people throw in so much, we don't have the total fights. So please, when you guys helping out with this information, can you ask some of the deep questions? If you go into the VIP, you got a VIP ticket, you're a senator. How many bodyguards can a senator have? And then how, just, of course, we know that's not a normal thing, but you guys say Liberia is different. So the question is, all the bodyguards that were with Dillon, did they have VIP ticket? Did they have clearance to go in the VIP, even if it is set up for executive or diploma? So I just want to get those things clear. And the next thing to you and your brother up there, can you guys start something like a forum beside this kind of in-court situation? Maybe you visit Philadelphia or some other city. If you guys want to come to Philadelphia, have a forum, invite Liberians for 1 hour. I'll be willing to pay even to get a hall so we can have a forum of discussion about the moral, social breakdown of our country. People are not afraid to kill. They are not afraid to steal. They are not afraid to lie. There's something going on. It's deeper than just government. The people. Thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. We have a 267 number, 5983. Tell us your name.
Yeah, Lodi, how you doing?
Hey, Lodi, what's happening? How was your weekend?
My weekend wasn't bad though. You've been out of space for some time. But quickly, let me get into this conversation.
Okay.
I want the EPS director and the government of the Republic of Liberia to come off point blank and apologize to Senator Dillon. In the 80s, in the 90s, even during Charles Taylor administration, all sectional heads in the Senate and in the representative, in the both houses, all of them carry 3-4 bodyguards each. You understand it?
Mm-hmm.
The government, if you are speaker, you are entitled to 4 SSS personnel, which is they call them today EPS. If you are president pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, you carry 20 government security. If you are vice president of the Republic, you carry a whole detail. At least you have 40 security. That includes soldier, SSS, NSA, immigration, police. But Lodi, I really don't know what's happening now in Liberia. We have our security have trust. There is no trust. There is no ethics, nothing at all. So for this reason, for them to treat Senator Dillon, you know what? Why the people are afraid now to keep government security? Even Dillon, if they say, let me use the word, if they say Dillon went on the field late, the only thing that SSS personnel in present of the SSS director were to do, or they were to do yesterday was, excuse me, sir, you cannot go to the VIP session. You salute the senator first. You salute him and say, excuse me, Your Honor, the VIP session is packed. Can you go to another area because you are late? That's number one. Number two, for that SSS personnel, that means that's not his first time. That's not his second time. That's not his third time. This is his fifth time. If you watch that video, this is the fifth time. If you even listen to Delon today, he expressed those things. Why are the SSS? SSS is only there to provide VIP protection to senators who are sessional heads in the Liberian Senate, to provide, security for the lower house and the ministers in the republic. It's not only for George Weah alone, it's for the entire officials of the Republic of Liberia, who we call our ministers and senators. You see, Grace Manor, in Grace Manor Day, somebody will come and hijack that security, or her security, Grace Manor security, that by this time today you in jail and you fire. Rachel Herons, you think somebody will hijack Rachel Herons security loading, you are fired. But Josh Weah have taken Delon to be like he's seeing Delon to be like the next incoming leader of the Republic of Liberia. This is how he treating Delon. And I watched them say, oh, you don't supposed to be this way because you are threat to the president. What makes Delon threat? Come on now. But Loli, there are other people that coming in that have to talk.
Thank you.
But thank you very much for having me, man. Loli, thank you.
Thank you. Shelton, you listened to Lodi from Philly. There's a few other callers. I want you to sign up on this one, and then we go back to where we started off, because this COVID thing is, let us not spend the whole night on the Delon issue, because the COVID thing is definitely not only in America, but in other parts of the country. And I think we need to continue to spread the word, to tell these people about how dangerous the new variant of COVID is. So I want you to comment on what Dodi just said and a few other callers, and then we'll go back to our COVID issue.
I want to go back to the young man from Iowa who talked about the representative having his own security, or when he wanted, to be voted, he went to the people, it was downtrodden. Yes, those were the normal circumstances. The caller from Philadelphia who talked about the town hall, he's very right. The Liberian society is highly immoral right now. And you and I, when we were growing up, the things that young people are doing today in Liberia, we could never do those things, Ashford. No. You know it. No. We could never. Where we ever will run the street with palm branches to support somebody, we were trying to study to be them or surpass them. Not today. So everything in Liberia is all about violence. You were in Liberia the other day. I don't know if you ever took to the wheel to drive, but when I go to Liberia, my mouth becomes foul, because it is the way that you have to deal with the people. You have to right away. You're driving straight on, following the rule. Somebody does something else. They say, "Hey, my man, the first thing come out of man's mouth is to curse your mom, yourself or your mom." And this is the immorality of the country. So that pervades into the leadership, and it hurts the entire country. So what you guys are talking about, Dylan has the right to. You imagine if Yaga Koluba did not have a personal security, he would be a dead man by now. A dead man. So at this point, people need to protect themselves.
Of course.
And I don't find any problem with that. And if the government cannot provide the security to protect its own citizens, and especially its official, because the House of Representatives and all the legislators in total, they are the first branch of government. They're entitled to state security. Yes, they are entitled to state security. But if securities are being selected and justice is being selective, then of course these people have to protect their lives.
Okay, I want you to hold that thought. We have a caller from Liberia. 231 is the area code 5862. Tell us your name, caller.
I'm Timothy Smith calling from Monrovia.
Mr. Smith, hello. Welcome to the show, my brother. What is on your mind tonight?
Thank you for the show, man. But listen to the show, the local radio, but we don't have no number of plenty to call for the local radio station. Well, thank you again for your show. Let me say something today. President, we are already saying us. And it's a disappointment and embarrassment to the country. We know what's going on. Anywhere they don't go, even the supporters, they attack us. Every time they don't move or step, they're attacking. Senator, President, we have a senator here for 3 years. Nobody never even throw cold water on me when you pass in Colorado. So we want to say, and they should be very careful. If any attempt to attack.
We lost him?
Timothy, are you there?
I
Timothy,
think he may be fading in and out.
We need to be in peace. But the security are there. The last time, they brutalized people. It's wrong. The law is our senator. We voted for him. The same way we voted for the former president. And he has the right to move on his feet. Even because he was denied. President, we are peace ambassador. There's a serious embarrassment in the country.
Thank you,
tomorrow,
Timothy.
in case President has the power, everything is going to do it him. He didn't reconcile the country. They say you are peace ambassador, you have the country you have. But there is no unity in the country when the security will be there, be brutalized. Delon is the people's senator. He has the right of one seat. You know what I'm saying? Even as a security man, you create me a scene. President, we are told our security men to do what they are doing. And they need to stop that. That's why we saw problems between Prince Johnson and
Thank you, Timothy. We have a 917 number. Hello, caller. 917.
Yes.
Hello. Tell us your name, please.
Hello. Yeah, hi. My name is Koto Jalabalayan, calling from New York.
You're live on the radio, Koto. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, ASHFORD, and also VOLCANO. I mean, for God's sake, that was the game played in honor of, let's say, in honor, and Dillon is Maserato's County senator, and Maserado County was playing. And for any reason, I don't care, whatever reason it was Senator Dillon guarding on a field, he should have been given that respect. But the fact that once they knew that he was a senator, even if his security, they may have a problem with him, but because he was a senator at the time, that respect would have been given. Oh, you're going with a senator? Even if somebody else, rather than his security, that honor or respect should have been given even to that person, knowing fully well that he was a senator and his country was playing. Okay, having that been, we listened to Senator Dillon. He said that they even asked for the ticket of his security, and he displayed the ticket to them. And sadly, it is not even the responsibility of the EPU to be asking people whether they should have ticket or not before entering. We all know we have been in Liberia, and people going on a fee is the ticket agents are even assigned on a fee to ask people whether they have tickets or not. I think it was a disrespect to Senator Dillon, and we shouldn't have these things repeated. As somebody regularly said, people will go and people will come. In leadership, you have to leave room for other things. You can't say because you're in position, now you start to disrespect other people.
Thank you,
in higher offices.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, kid. We have a 507 number, 7133. Tell us the name, please.
Hello, Ashford. This is Deconti Damita J, calling from Minnesota. How are you all?
Hi, Deconti. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and make your point.
Thank you. I just wanted to make a point in reference to one of the previous callers said he highlighted the lawlessness, the behavior of Liberians in Liberia. Okay. Mm-hmm. If we must remember anything, let's remember as a nation, we have not paid attention to the mental health crisis going on in our country. We have experienced crisis upon crisis upon crisis. The last 20 to 30 years in Liberia has not created a space for stability. The governing bodies that have come and went, including the last government, Ellen's government, did very little to target and to take care of the mental and emotional health. People are walking around in saturated, traumatized conditions. We just see it and we say, oh, that every day Liberian people can just behave. No, we must get to the root of it. And the root of Liberians' problem right now is untreated trauma, post-war traumatic syndromes that we're walking around with. Some of us are ticking time bombs. So that lawlessness, it came from somewhere. We can't just say we don't know where it came from. It came from ignoring the mental status of your citizens. It came from sweeping under the rug bad behavior. It came from not addressing and not upholding our laws, our constitution. That's where all of this comes from. I just wanted to add that piece there tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Dagonte.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Shelton, all over the world. When you hear about the Olympics, now they are very careful as to how they entertain the fans into the arena. Even the Super Bowl that is coming up next Sunday, it has some type of restriction in terms of the fans, you know, and this is not something to joke with. The virus is no longer the hoax, like Trump said. You know, this is not time where we seriously pound on this, continue to educate our people, continue to inform our people through the health system. You know, somebody said it's 35,000 max or 45,000. You have over 50,000 people there at the stadium. No masks, no observing, anytime observing or social distancing. But at the end of the day, again, when something erupts, we will be the first in line to ask for international assistance. These people, this country is the greatest country on the face of the earth. They don't even know how to contain this virus. And here we are saying, oh, Liberia is blessed. No coronavirus in Liberia. This thinking has got to stop, man. You know, again, I would encourage the opposition to hold the government feet to the fire. This is serious. I mean, especially the new strain of the virus that is coming out from South Africa. You have South Africans doing business in Liberia. What is the government doing now to stop people from leaving South Africa to come to Liberia? Even if you're Liberian, you visit South Africa, stay there. Don't come to Liberia, because this is serious. And if they don't listen, Liberia will end up being a super spreader. This is not a joke. I mean, we have gotten so used to this stuff that my mask is on me at all time. You know, there's no way you can forget it now. You know, especially for some of us who are up there in age with some type of low underlying, you know, condition, you have to take this stuff very seriously. Shelton?
Yeah, the truth is, let's just backtrack a little bit. You talked about the Olympics, you talked about the NBA, the NFL, and all of those.
Right.
Imagine those teams are paying these guys millions of dollars.
Thank you.
And how you think they're going to generate a salary? It's through get intake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet they're not bringing in people into the stadium. So you're talking just a counter meet. How much you giving those kids to play? Those kids could have played to a smaller crowd rather than overcrowd that stadium, because they're not on salaries.
No.
It's not like you're paying them and you got to make the money. You understand me? That's the first mistake that the government made.
Right.
That game did not have to be that crowded. The second part of that is, while it is true the government is responsible for putting policies in and then also implementing those policies by holding its citizens accountable, but not selectively across the board, because again, I say that the president sets the trend, followed by his officials, and then it goes down to the common man. But also is a burden on the common man to protect himself. Because even though the president does not wear masks while on the soccer field in the midst of 50,000 people, that doesn't mean I should emulate what the president is doing. I need to wear masks to protect myself. So when Donald Trump was not wearing masks around here, many Americans were wearing masks. Many of the government officials who failed to wear masks, the American populace was still wearing masks. The white places enforced mask wearing, as a means, businesses enforce mask wearing as a means of keeping the place safe. So if some of the businesses can begin to do that in Liberia, like the nightclubs, the beaches, and so forth, you don't enter the beach without your mask. Now, if you go in to swim in the water, then of course you can take off your mask. And if you continue social distancing, then that's also help. You know, the less spread of anything. So it's a conglomeration of all the facets of society, the churches, the schools. I don't even know if students are wearing masks while in class. I would doubt that. So it is a conglomeration of the whole facets of society coming together to respect this international standard. Because if Liberia remains susceptible and continue to be reckless with its susceptibility of the potential spread of this variant, if it ever comes to Liberia, they could be in serious trouble. Right now, with what's happening in America with the 4 new cases, maybe 5 or more now, people will start rethinking. The healthcare protocol going to change, and the healthcare protocol right here in the state of Pennsylvania changes by the minute. As soon as something new, they're going to change things. And I don't know what they're doing over there. The health ministry, the Enfield, and all these, different places that's supposed to be protecting the health and safety of the people. So, Ashford, we're very right here tonight. I think that there's no way around it. The whole thing begins with President Weah revisiting the policies, making sure that all public spaces people wear masks. Try to do as much as possible. Taxi driver should not take passengers in a car without masks. Just like when the Ebola came, it was difficult to even take passenger. So why are they not doing it? So if I went to stop a taxi and I didn't have a mask on, and the taxi pulls up, I'm the one going to count the light pole. But they got to find a way to get the whole society involved, and people need to work together to make sure that they do that.
So, what will be our message now to President Weah and of course the health ministry and the rest of the people in the country to actually begin to take this stuff very seriously? And Shelton, I don't know when the last time you were in Liberia, but when I went to do my COVID test, somewhere down there behind Sophie ice cream shop, no protocol, man, no system in place. They had this guy that everybody is looking up to. If he's not there, I'm afraid you're gonna have to wait in long queue. So I was supposed to travel back to the States on a Monday, and I'm there Friday. I took my test on Friday. Monday morning, I went to the place to get my result. They said, "Oh, you're still not in the system." So now, as I talk to you now, Shelton, there were people already crying that have missed their flight. They paid their money, they took the test, supposed to get the result within 72 hours. They can't get the result. Then they have to reschedule. Now, who pays for the extra fees if you have to reschedule your flight? So I went back at 12 o'clock. I still couldn't get my result. And at this time, I was getting pissed, And, "Oh, Mr. Garley, you're still not in the system." So I went back outside in the car, and I came to say, "Oh, you got to wait small. You're still not in the system." I said, "Listen, if I don't get my result before 2 o'clock and I end up missing my flight, the noise I will make in this town is going to have to take the whole military to come and calm me down." And just like that, within 30 to 45 minutes, "Oh, Mr. Garley, yeah, we got your result now, and you COVID-19 negative. You can go now." Come on, man. You're asking somebody to pay $75, and you can't.
The service is poor.
300 people on a plane paying you $75, my man.
Imagine.
Where is the money going? Where is it going? You can't hire enough people to deal with the influx of people that want to leave the country. They have to do something, man. They have to do something.
The problem with Liberian men, Ashford, they just want the money. They don't want to work for the money. They don't want to put mechanisms in place to acquire the money in the right way. Once the money gets in there, imagine going to Liberia. The man you call the man to do contract for you, telling say he want advance. I don't even know if you know how to hold shovel. Then you telling me to give you advance? Yeah. You saw dig a foundation for me. You have not even put your the first shovel in the soil. And then you say, boss man, you got to advance your in the country, then you got to feed us. Feed you for what? I don't want to buy your food. Let's discuss the workmanship. Let's talk about it. Your food, whatever, that's on you. And what I pay you, that's what I pay you. But you got to work first. So that's the problem with Liberia. The people just want the money. They don't want to work for the money. What type of country is this, Ashford? What type of country is this? And it's becoming worse every day. Every day. And you and I have good heart for this country. We want to see good for it. That's what we sit here, spend hours and hours of our personal time we're not getting paid for, just to bring these things to enlightenment, so that we all can have a discussion. And we're hoping that, you know, it would take heed. But for people to continue to play nonchalant with regards to wearing masks in Liberia, they're risking their lives, because COVID has not gone away. It has not gone away. And they always say, oh, the thing scatter the sun. Okay, but rainy season coming. April is around the corner in Liberia. May, June, July, August. When Freshco start mixing with it, then they'll be confused. They won't know whether they got COVID or they got Freshco. Because in the first place, we don't even have the sophistication to diagnose and treat. Many of the sicknesses in Liberia always attributed to what? Malaria and typhoid. So people will be dying from COVID, they will say they have typhoid or they have AIDS. So let them sit around and be taking this lightly. But you ask a question. You say, what can we tell the Liberian government? We've said it over and over. President, we need to set the tune. He needs to call his Minister of Health, the Enfield people, get everybody, get the team together, the EPS, because this is all about environmental issues. Bring everybody together to the table and say, listen, we heard about South Africa. What are we doing to ensure that we protect the interiors of our country? You know, let's be very vigilant about this. Let's do credible testing and put people in quarantine, especially from South Africa, to make sure if they have to come to Liberia, because they have. I'm sure South Africa has an embassy in Liberia.
But now, one would have thought that this government, through its information ministry, would say, you know what, business people from South Africa, you are hereby banned from entering the country, you know, and people going to South Africa, make sure you remain there, don't come back to the country until we can find solution to this, because all hands now are thrown towards South Africa with the new strain of virus. And what we also would have thought that people would have learned, man, from what happened with the Ebola situation, you know, and go to the marketplaces, man. There are no masks, walking all around, you know, they gather in places, go on the beach, they're all over the place. You saw that yesterday on the field. Despite the crowd. Tell me how many people you saw with masks on. People fainting. One ambulance I saw. 105 million people. I only saw one ambulance yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's a Joseph or ambulance just going around. the one he can also he tend to Ebola hero. I won't see though. You know? And you take one less about thing and you win city in Liberia. And hey, now the man a millionaire, he passing around his stomach B. But the people taking it for a joke. You understand me, Ashford? Again, as I said, civil society has a part to play. The churches, the school, the Ministry of Transport, imploring that all transportation have face masks worn by passengers. The marketplaces, the LMA needs to come in. Okay, Liberia Marketing Association, the Youth and Sports Ministry, when there's sporting activities going on, they need to enforce it. As you hand your ticket, your mask on your face before you enter the stadium. You understand me? In market squares, in businesses, nightclubs, restaurants, You can't come in the restaurant with all your face masks. The only time you take off your mask if you're eating, and they need to set the seating, social distancing. But my brother, the people continue to play ignorant and act reckless with everything that's happening. And that's the risk factor. But the government needs to set the precedent. The government needs to set the precedent.
Well, Shelton, again, we're going to go home on this. And just before we give our closing statements, the government, this administration has directly sanctioned its blessings on the biggest COVID-19 super spreader on the African continent for weeks. And the ensuing devastating consequences will be laid at the feet of this administration. And also, the opposition has some culpability by its convenient demurrer. Without Shelton, that's how we want to leave this to the Liberian people. I want to continue to caution the government to please do something now, not tomorrow, not the day after, but we need the government to do something now. Your closing statement, Shelton.
Well, someone asked, why did you pay $75 even though you had taken your vaccine, not vaccine, rather you had tested and was certificated? Well, it's just the system. It's how Liberia can generate income too. But let's come back to the truth here. The Liberian government makes policy, and implementation of those policies is also enforced by the government. But if the government select to do it for a few people and not everyone, then it defeats the purpose. I've said this repeatedly on the ASHFORD GARLEY live show that the leader sets the tune. President Weah should not selectively wear masks. He should wear masks at all occasions because he is the president. And if he sets the tune, the vice president will follow. The speaker will follow, members of the House, the associated justices, and all those big public institutions, including ministers and assistant ministers, and their employees will set the tune. Imagine the Liberian government is the most major employer in the country. That's where most of the policy implementation should begin. And I will hope that it starts there. And that can trigger down to civil society, bringing in the churches, the schools, the other institutions, as I talked about, the LMA, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, because they're the one holding big gatherings when it comes to soccer, businesses, bringing in the Liberia Business Association. So everyone needs to come together, and even the family, which is the smallest unit in the society, needs to understand that you guys need to keep yourself safe and your family. Thank you, Ashford.
Okay, Shelton, we'll be back at Wednesday night. Wednesday, I might not be here because I'm going to take my vaccine for COVID. So, and it'll be late in the evening. So you might have to do the show alone. So until then, Shelton, I'll talk to you tonight after the show.
All right, Ashford. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here with us.
And folks, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to be with you tonight. God willing, Shelton will be back on Wednesday, same time, same place. You know, as always, please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last, tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide your nakedness from beef and bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. When white men know you friend black man. When the crawfish come from underneath the water and say the crocodile is sweating, please don't say that loud. C'est tout pas yé. C'est bon pour la anja ko me chiraji. Wo no muzu anu wonje mado. Abri ato jirai. Ajo ade wa po. Boro blai pari ko yo boro sei. Abaria go da mane, amani akoja. Be diaku. Yeah, we're playing. Yours truly, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia. The brother who doesn't eat iron, he's definitely stronger than a lion. ASHFORD the giant. And now you know me, Garley. Have a good night.